Brown eye. Brown eyes are the ones that helped us evolve as a species. Imagine our early ancestors running after an antelope in the burning sun and sweat pouring into their eyes. They didn't have glasses, hats, or any other protection. Suddenly, a blinding flash and the sun was burning their eyes. For a split second, everything disappeared, and then all they saw was a streak of dust from their dinner. This wasn't because it vanished, but because their vision broke down under the harsh light. Without food, they were signing their own death sentence right then. But there was a group that could see, and it wasn't because of luck, but because of their eye color. That's how the crushing evolutionary advantage began. Somewhere near the equator, brown eyes gave the first humans a superpower because they looked at the horizon with eyes made for fighting and survival. Their eyes were dark, intensely saturated with melanin, out of necessity. Melanina acted like a natural shield. While light eyes scattered light into visual chaos, brown eyes dampened it like a shield designed for bright Sunday. They were opaque and better prepared for intense light than other colors. Those who saw better survived. This ancient trick still works, because today over 70% of people in the world have this built-in protection in their genes. Without them, we'd be blind in harsh light, and on the savannah, blindness didn't just mean losing sight, it meant death. There was no chance involved, just brutal selection. In the sun, the difference between hunter and prey came down to seconds. Brown eyes reacted 0.3 seconds faster than light eyes. That's less than a blink, but it was enough for your ancestors to survive and for your lighter-eyed cousins to become dinner. If it weren't for brown eyes, maybe today animals would be telling stories about those strange, slow-running monkeys who disappeared because they couldn't see danger through the sun's glare. Brown eyes aren't rare, but they are a living relic from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Blue eye. Blue eyes are a contradiction. 10,000 years ago in northern Europe, snow lay for 9 months a year. The sun shone for sometimes an hour, maybe 2. This was a nightmare for people with dark eyes. Their eyes were made for harsh sun, and in the new conditions they went blind, got lost, and died of hunger. But a mutation appeared: blue eyes. Blue eyes allowed them to see better in twilight, and against a white background. Hunters with such eyes spotted reindeer, rabbits, and tracks in the snow that others didn't notice. Whoever saw the game came back with meat, and whoever didn't died of hunger. That's why blue eyes survived in northern Europe. It was an advantage that decided life here. But blue eyes are a pure lie. There's nothing blue in them, not a gram of blue pigment. Yet everyone calls them that. When a newborn opens their eyes and that mesmerizing blue appears, everyone freezes. But what you see isn't color, and we should say, look, what a beautiful Tyndall effect. Blue eyes are transparent. They have no pigment or specific shade. Light entering the eye scatters in its layers, and only part of it returns outside. What you see is just an illusion, an optical trick. This is similar to when we say the sky is blue, but that's actually Rayleigh scattering, not the color blue. Every person with blue eyes, and there are over 640 million of them, comes from the same mutation from 6 to 10,000 years ago, somewhere in the Black Sea region. A certain European had a defect in the OCA2 gene. This error in the code reduced melanin production. Before the eye absorbed light after the mutation, it began to scatter it. All blue-eyed people have a common ancestor. Today, blue-eyed people are only 8% of the population. Scientists predict that soon this error will become a rarity, and everyone will have brown eyes again. But beware, blue eyes age and fade over time, because with age they can become cloudy. Some take on a steel shade, others deceptively turn green. This is melanin, which finally changes its mind and starts to accumulate in the iris. Green eye. Green eyes shouldn't exist. They are rare, found in only about 2% of the world's population. That's fewer than people with red hair, and rarer than a mutation giving a 6th finger on the hand. And yet green eyes exist. Green eyes are a side effect of physics and chemistry. Green eyes are not pigment. They are a reaction and the right conditions for them to form. Too much melanin, and you have brown eyes. And if there's too little melanin, you have blue eyes that scatter light. You also need lipochrome, a special yellowish pigment that gives a yellowish tint and colors the reflected light. Add to that natural light scattering, and we get an impossible color, which is a green illusion that appears only with ideal balance. However, green eyes are not stable. A minimal change in pigment, and the green disappears. Green eyes change depending on the light and conditions. In the sun, they are bright in the shade, they are dark, and indoors, they look different than outdoors. No one is born with green eyes, because this color often develops in the first months or years of life when pigment production in the eye stabilizes.